I'm using two cameras now, two cameras. Someone asked, what's my latest equipment? What am I using now? I'm using the main camera body is a cinema camera, the Z-cam E2C, the Charlie variant. It's a little micro 4/3 camera, but it uses interchangeable lenses, and it is a true cinema camera. And I use that camera for both my cameras. I have my A rig, and I have my B rig. For the longest time, I only used one camera. My B camera is, for B-roll, extra footage. Now, when I'm in the boat, the camera's just sitting, and it's bolted down or tied down tight, and I don't have any desire to go trying to change out lenses in that boat and trying to turn the camera around and getting extra footage that way. Much better to have an extra camera like this, right, that I use. I use the Canon FD, they're basically photographic lenses, but they were made back in the 70s. So I use a 24, a 50 millimeter macro, a 135 millimeter, and a 300 millimeter. I have a Audio Technica, was an 875R shotgun microphone with a homemade dead cat to deal with the wind. I have a Tascam DR60 to recording audio, and I'm recording audio to both the audio recorder and the video at the same time, and so I'm using two-part audio. On this camera I have a recorder called the Ninja 5. It's an external recorder and monitor. It records in a very high-end codec called ProRes, and that's my footage, and that's mounted on a Pro-Am tripod, heavy tripod. I can take the waves pounding out there on the waves on the water. Since about last year this time, I started composing my own music for my YouTube videos. A lot of people don't know, but I have a couple of degrees in music performance, and I used to play saxophone years ago. Just tired of using the music that is in the YouTube database, because everybody's using that music, and it's like, and then when you're using other services where even if you have a license and you have paid to use it, people keep hitting you with copyright claims because all these database services are using the same stinking audio clips. So I said, okay, I'm done with that. I said, I got a couple of music degrees, why not put them to work? I bought a modular synthesizer and started making music and sounds. It's analog, essentially. You have to manually patch the cables in to make it. If you plug it in the wall and turn it on, it won't do anything. You actually have to manually patch things. Although my degrees are in music performance, I think I learned to compose with a camera, because you're having to compose a shot. Like, look at me right now. I'm on this side of the camera, rule of thirds. You have that side of the camera, right? A third, and that side of the camera is brighter. This side of the camera is darker. You're close up to my face. That's a little bit out of focus. My face is in focus, hopefully, right? You have to compose a shot. So I said, well, wait a minute. You have all these elements that I'm composing in a shot. Why can't I compose music that way? And I put all my compositions over on Bandcamp, and it's licensed so that anybody can buy those albums or even individual songs and use them on their videos if they want to. It's just licensed under Creative Commons, just as long as you give me some credit for it and just provide a link back to the album or a link to my brand in some way. I'm happy to let you just use my music on your videos. And also check out the Teachable page, as I I'm finishing up a class on how to shoot fishing videos for YouTube. And it's really more of an artistic brief where you really get into the shots and how I compose my shots and how I compose the stories and bring those stories alive. Because a lot of things that you see on YouTube, people just don't do because they just don't know how to think in those terms. So, and that's why I put that class up. So if you have the time, check out the class on Teachable, or go over to Bandcamp and check out some of my tunes, and I'd appreciate it. I have some new plugs that I'm working on. I'm just waiting for paints to dry and things like that before we get back out on the water.